Meanwhile, WrestleVotes on Twitter said that internally, WWE is said to be disappointed with NXT 2.0 in its first 4 months, thinking that more fans would have gravitated towards the newer stars quicker than they have. And they said that they don't expect any changes to the concept yet. It hasn't even been 6 months yet. And if this is true, these people honestly expected the developmental show with stars that nobody has ever seen or heard of before would be doing better numbers than the previous version of NXT. I got news for you. Even that version of NXT wasn't doing great. It wasn't doing great numbers. But it was doing better than they are now. Now, you've turned it into a full-blown developmental show. What did they think would happen? This show does not belong on USA Network. If anything, it belongs on Peacock. Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast spoke to a source at WWE about what WrestleVotes tweeted, and it does sound like there's legitimacy to it. He said, according to his source, a lot of the blame is being put on the abruptness of how everything was changed. Fan perception of the product is not helping either, according to this person. NXT will never do big numbers. That's not what developmental is supposed to be. They used to hide these people away until they were ready for prime time, going back all the way to the OVW days. So unless you watch the television in Louisville, locally, you didn't even know people like John Cena and Brock Lesnar existed until the first time you saw them on Raw or on SmackDown when John Cena walked out to confront Kurt Angle and said, "Ruthless aggression." That was the first time we saw him on TV. When Brock Lesnar showed up randomly after WrestleMania and with Paul Heyman at his side and he was laying waste to everybody, that was the first time we ever laid eyes on the guy. That's why, it's like, holy shit, look at this guy. Built like a tank. I had never seen him before. I had read about him online and in the newsletters, but I didn't even know what he looked like. You're not getting 1 million people to tune in for fucking Von Wagner and the Creed brothers. And as much as I like Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes, they've only been pushing them for 4 months. If this was their vision, and I'm not even saying it was a completely incorrect vision to want to build new stars. I'm never going to say it's a bad thing to want to build new stars. I think there was a different way to go about doing it instead of blowing the whole thing up. But if this is what you wanted to do, you have to commit to it. You have to give it time. For all the crap that people give fans for having no patience and having, the attention span of a gnat and all this stuff, Vince McMahon doesn't come across as the most patient person in the world either. Maybe with USA, they feel like they don't have that time. Another reason why this show does not belong to be on USA or any major cable network. It should be on Peacock. It should be on their own network. And then they can work at their own pace. Developing talent takes time. You got what you wanted. You kicked Triple H to the curb and you implemented your new vision. Now you have to see that vision through if you truly believe in it. Because we do need the Braun Breakers and we do need the Carmelo Hayeses and the Grayson Wallers of the world to do well and to carry this company into the future. Road Dogg, and every time I hear about Road Dogg's tweets making I roll my fucking eyes. Road Dogg replied to the WrestleVotes tweet, disagreeing with their source's take, and he gave exactly the kind of response that you would expect. He said he literally said these words. He said they can do no wrong. WWE can do no wrong. He said WWE can do no wrong. They're getting paid for content, and at the same time, they're developing new characters. And he said every show wishes their ratings were higher, and he put in parenthesis in reference to the ratings, which mean nothing. Road Dogg wins for sad tweet of the week. The ratings do not matter. We'll see if he feels the same way should the NXT ratings continue to decline, because I still believe that this show will be off USA before this year is over. Now on the show on Tuesday, the Creed brothers advanced in the Dusty Cup with a win over Briggs and Jensen. Legado del Fantasma lost to the team of Malik Blade and Idris Inofe, which the announcers called a bracket buster. Santos Escobar got involved. That brought out Bron Breakker, who carried Escobar away, and that was enough of a distraction for Blade to roll up Joaquin Wilde for the win. So it sends the underdog team into the next round. Right now, they're kind of the feel-good story so far of this tournament. And it's also the spark for a Bron Breakker-Santos Escobar feud. But they will face the winners of the match this Tuesday between MSK and Jacket Time. They had a segment where Tony D'Angelo held a mock funeral for Pete Dunne, who he beat the week before with a crowbar. He said now he was going after the North American Championship. And Cameron Grimes came out, said the same thing, and Carmelo Hayes, the champion, he suggested that they have a match to determine who the next challenger would be. So this Tuesday, it'll be Grimes against D'Angelo, which should be a win for Cameron Grimes. We have not seen Sarray on NXT in a couple of months. She had a terrible match against Lash Legend on 205 Live last month, and I don't blame Sarray for that. The match was so horrible, she fled the country. She had to go into hiding for the past month. She flew back to Japan. That's how bad that match was. And so she's been MIA for the past month, until this week, when they aired a vignette promoting her return. They had her dressed up in pigtails like a schoolgirl in these wireframe glasses, narrating. At first, she was narrating in Japanese with English subtitles saying, 2021 was my first year here, but everything didn't go as planned. I returned to Japan to recover both physically and mentally. At one point, I wanted to give up, but then I found the necklace that my grandmother gave me when I was a little girl. Grandma was my hero. She was strong and taught me to never give up under any circumstances. Thanks to finding my necklace, I feel like I can conquer the world. This necklace reminds me who I am and where I come from. And then she switched over to English and she said, inside the ring, I am the warrior of the sun, but outside, I am just Sarray, and that's okay. Oh God, she's rhyming now. Now I will return back to America and NXT with a new passion and energy. So she is still calling herself the warrior of the sun, but they are giving her a backstory. Now, I don't know if her grandmother's necklace is going to be a magical necklace or not. Maybe she'll come back as a heel and she'll bash people over the head with it and act all sweet and nice outside the ring. The video itself was fine. I don't have an issue with them trying to flesh her character out a bit more. She really didn't have a character at all before. She was just Sarray, the warrior of the sun. Kind of generic. We didn't know anything else about her. This is the first real personality profile of any kind I think that they've done on her. You know, maybe outside of whatever vignette when she first debuted that I don't remember. So I'm taking a wait-and-see approach on this. I saw a lot of hate for this on social media. I'm taking a wait-and-see approach. They didn't say when she would be returning to the ring. Hopefully it doesn't take as long as it's taking for Veer to come. As long as she keeps that killer basement dropkick of hers, we'll see how they flesh the character out. But she needed something. I agree that she needed something. I don't know if this is it or not. Grandma's necklace, if that's going to be the best story for her, but at least it's something. And they closed the show with the Walter match against Roddy. By the way, Scotty Hotty, who quit his job as a coach at the Performance Center a few months back, after he saw what they did to NXT, he said, I see the writing on the wall here. I got to get the hell out of here. He was a guest on Talk is Jericho, and he revealed a very odd request that Vince McMahon had, specifically for the coaches, after they blew up NXT and took it away from Triple H and started doing the revamp. He said Vince wanted the coaches looking younger, and he wanted them to start dyeing their beards and cutting their hair. This coming from a guy who appears on television every week looking like the Crypt Keeper. He wants the behind-the-scenes staff. They don't appear in front of fans. He wants them to look younger. But yet he has no problem showing up on Raw every week looking like a melted wax candle. Truly one of a kind. The man is truly one of a... There is not anybody on the planet like Vince McMahon.